He came, it was like, Suge's outside, Suge's outside. Everybody like, he was running, dropping, like, man, everybody going, I'm in front of the camera like this. Everybody like, whoa, running.
What do you think of Eminem? Is that what do you think of white rap?
Well, you know, I don't. See, one thing about something, the ghetto is colorblind on a sense. If you really from the ghetto and you really doing those things you rapping about, you talking about, I can respect that.
An old Eminem diss track just clawed its way back from the depths of the internet, and it's got everybody talking. But the real bombshell? 50 Cent just spilled some behind-the-scenes tea, revealing that M was one of the only rappers who never flinched in the face of Suge Knight. Now, if you know anything about Suge, you know he had the rap game shook in the 90s. We're talking about the same guy who allegedly dangled Vanilla Ice off a balcony, threatening to drop him. His rep for intimidation, violence, and straight-up mayhem was legendary. But according to 50, Eminem wasn't just unbothered, he was ready to throw hands with Suge. And here's where it gets even crazier. M reportedly believed Suge played a role in setting Tupac up and putting him in danger. And considering how much M idolized Pac, it makes perfect sense why he was ready to go toe-to-toe with Suge without a second thought. So what exactly did Eminem expose about Suge in this resurfaced diss track? And why did 50 say M wasn't even slightly afraid of him? Let's break it down. The track, Smack You, is a straight-up lyrical beatdown aimed at none other than Suge Knight and Ja Rule. Word is, M recorded it in the mid-2000s, right in the middle of the legendary 50 Cent vs. Ja Rule war. And since M always had 50's back, coming for Ja was a given. But the Suge shots? That's where it gets real messy. Eminem wasn't just throwing out wild shots, he meant every single word. He truly believed Suge Knight had a hand in the deaths of two of the biggest rap legends in history, Tupac Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G. And in Smack You, he doesn't hold back, spitting, "I'm holding Suge responsible for the deaths of the two greatest rappers to ever grace the face of this planet. If only the late, great Mr. Christopher Wallace could talk, he could tell you himself. I'm holding Suge responsible for the death of Ja Rule or anyone else down with Thoreau." And if that wasn't brutal enough, M also went at Ja Rule for trying to cozy up to Suge, calling him out with, "Begging Suge to get him to follow you to all the clubs, but you're too dumb to see that your publishing's all he wants. Thinking you're friends till he gets it, and you're the next rapper sitting on the passenger side of that Benz that gets hit again. And LAPD will be saying, 'Who did this ish again?' Knowing who did it, but still nobody admits it. But if I get clipped for this ish, I know who did it." And that's just one of the unreleased Eminem tracks that recently leaked. Fans just got blessed with a whole wave of heat, including collabs with 50 Cent, Nate Dogg, Anderson.Paak, Westside Boogie, and Slaughterhouse. But what's really crazy? The timing of this leak. All these tracks, including the Suge diss, surfaced right after Suge took a shot at M on his prison podcast, Collect Call with Suge Knight. During the episode, Suge went off about people trying to cash in on Tupac's legacy, calling out a specific posthumous Pac record that, in his eyes, flopped. And guess who he blamed? Eminem. Suge claimed M messed with Pac's legacy and said his involvement in the album did more harm than good. The project in question? Loyal to the Game, Tupac's 5th posthumous studio album. According to Suge, it was the only Pac release that didn't hit the way it should have. Eminem took full control of Loyal to the Game, producing the entire album with remixes of unreleased tracks Tupac recorded before his tragic death in 1996. But according to Suge, the project was a disaster. He claimed M botched the production and said the album should have never seen the light of day. But here's the twist. Despite Suge trashing the album, a lot of Tupac's loyal fans actually loved it. Many felt Eminem gave Pac's legacy new life, keeping his message intact while adding a modern twist. And now people are saying Suge only came for M's work because he's still bitter he could never intimidate him like he did with so many other rappers back in the day. And if you didn't know, Suge and Eminem's history is wild. According to Tony Yayo, things almost got physical at one point. Yayo even said there was a moment when M was ready to swing on Suge, and that's when he knew M was the real deal. The whole thing went down in the early 2000s during the Inda Club video shoot in LA. That's when Suge pulled up, rolling deep with a crew of Mexican gangsters looking for trouble. And the second he arrived, the whole set turned chaotic. People were shook, waiting to see what Suge was about to do. But Eminem? Unfazed. Instead of backing down, he stood his ground, ready to throw down if it came to that. And here's where it gets even crazier. Eminem's childhood best friend, the late Deshaun Proof Holton, straight up accused Suge of setting Tupac up. And apparently, Eminem believed it too. The story about Eminem standing his ground against Suge Knight isn't just a rumor. It's been confirmed by multiple people who were there, including 50 Cent himself. 50 described the moment Suge arrived at the video shoot, saying that most people immediately backed away, except for Eminem. And according to rapper M. Smurf, who spoke about the incident on an IG Live, Eminem even put on a protective vest before stepping outside, while 50 and Dr. Dre remained inside. It was a moment that showed just how unshaken M was, even in tense situations. But let's shift back to Eminem's recently leaked diss track, where he seemed to hold Suge responsible for key events in hip-hop history. However, things get complicated, because while M pointed the finger at Suge in Smack You, in more recent tracks, he's also made references suggesting other theories. For example, in 2018, Eminem dropped the diss track Kill Shot aimed at Machine Gun Kelly. In the song, he made a comparison between his longtime mentor, Dr. Dre, and MGK's boss, Diddy, referencing speculation that had circulated for years. M rapped, "I will not fail, I'm with the doc still. But this idiot's boss pops pills and tells him he's got skills. But Kells, the day you put out a hit is the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got pack." The timing of Kill Shot also raised eyebrows. It was released on September 14th, just one day after the anniversary of Tupac's passing. However, when it comes to these long-standing rumors, Diddy has consistently dismissed them, calling the speculation baseless and refusing to engage with it directly. Things took a serious turn when Eminem dropped Kill Shot and made a bold reference involving Diddy in connection to past events in hip-hop history. That's when Joe Budden, who was working with Revolt, Diddy's media network at the time, claimed that Diddy had plans to address M's lyrics. Joe stated, "Nothing to speculate about, nothing to talk about. Puff said it's in his hands, and he said I can say it. That's the end of that. There's nothing to say about it. It's in my hands. Eminem's wild. This is bigger than rap." But despite Joe's claims, no public response from Diddy ever came, and his silence left fans divided. Some felt it was best not to engage, while others saw it as avoiding the conversation. Fast forward to the release of the documentary Murder Rap, based on an investigation by Detective Greg Kading into major events in hip-hop history. Around this time, Diddy appeared on The Breakfast Club, and when Charlemagne tried to bring up the documentary's claims, Diddy quickly shut down the conversation before the question was even finished. But Kill Shot wasn't the first time Eminem had called out Diddy. M had been throwing lyrical jabs at him for years, going all the way back to 1996 on a track called Effing Crazy, where he rapped, "Original bad boy on the case, cover your face," came in the place blowed and sprayed Puffy with mace. Then in 2000, on Marshall Mathers, M took another shot, rapping, "You little groupie, get off me, go mess with Puffy." By this time, Eminem had already cemented himself as a powerhouse in hip-hop, and his reputation for fearlessly calling out industry heavyweights only grew stronger. Later that same year, on I'm Back, he went even further, this time throwing shade at Diddy's then-girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez. Eminem has never held back when it comes to calling people out, and one of his most talked-about name drops came in I'm Back, where he rapped, "'Cause if I ever stuck it to any singer in showbiz, it'd be Jennifer Lopez and Puffy. You know this. I'm sorry, Puff, but I don't give an F." Then, after Kill Shot dropped and Diddy reportedly considered responding but never did, M kept the pressure on, dropping more references to him in later tracks. On Godzilla, he took a jab at Diddy's well-known Making the Band challenge, rapping, "They call me Diddy 'cause I make bands, and I call getting cheese a cakewalk." And then, on his 2024 album, The Death of Slim Shady, Eminem brought everything back into focus, referencing old speculation surrounding major events in hip-hop history. On Fuel, he spit, "Notorious B.I.G.'s loss was a domino effect of Tupac's murder, alike facial tissue. Whose clock should I clean next? Puff's? Till he's in police handcuffs, guilty, will he step up? M didn't stop there. On Antichrist, another track from the same album, he took another jab, hinting at past controversies while keeping his wordplay sharp. So when it comes to who Eminem holds responsible for the losses of Tupac and Biggie, his focus has shifted over the years. Initially, he pointed fingers at Suge Knight, but in more recent tracks, he suggested that Diddy played a larger role behind the scenes. While Suge's connection to the East Coast versus West Coast tension is undeniable, some fans have questioned if there was more happening behind the scenes, fueling speculation that there were multiple players involved. But now, we want to hear from you. What do you think about Eminem standing up to Suge Knight back in the day? And how do you feel about him calling out both Suge and Diddy over hip-hop's most talked about mysteries? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. See you in the next one.